Yesterday, we had a beautiful birthday party for one of our Atlanta Bhakti yogis, Narayani. And she was celebrating her 16th birthday. And we had this ecstatic kirtan. And as we're doing the kirtan, then we were clapping, and putting our hands together. And Justina, one of the students, asked, why do we clap? Why do we put our hands together? So I shared this with everyone, and I would like to share it with all of you, that the power of the hands that we have is the source of your sustenance. Without these hands, it's very, very difficult to go through life. And so these hands represent both the feminine and the masculine energies. And when these hands come together, sometimes it is the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So when these hands come together, it becomes a union. It is yoga just to bring the hands together. And this is the gesture of self-love and surrender and acceptance. You may sometimes notice in India, Southeast Asia, they do this a lot, and you're wondering why it is. This means I wholeheartedly greet you with love and affection. This means I accept. This means I surrender. This means I'm divine. This means I'm seeking enlightenment. And when you put the hands together, this is union, right? Of the divine, masculine and the feminine. And when this hand goes to the heart, it ignites the heart chakra. And when this goes to the throat, you'll notice it ignites the throat chakra. And when this goes to the forehead, it stimulates and ignites the chakra of intuition. So in this way, you'll see a lot of this happening, especially those of you, Kelsey, you'll see it all over in India. Everyone will greet you like this. And you'll notice also, many of you are coming to India with me, that when you see the monkeys and any other creatures, if you keep your hands in the pocket, they're very suspicious of you because they think that you have something to hide. And when you keep your hands like this, they come closer to you because they know that you're unarmed and you're harmless. And you're situated in your spiritual constitution. So we'll begin with these hands together in our hearts and chant this beautiful prayer of gratitude. So if you would like, you can do this. Om. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Yontah Pravesha Mama Vachamimam Prashuptam Sanjivayatya Kila Shakti Dharaswadhamna Anyamscha Hasta Charana Shravana Tvagadim Pranannamo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. So thank you, my dear brothers and sisters, for joining us. So today we wanted to discuss questions were asked about time. And generally, whenever certain questions are asked, then we try to have maybe a session or two, depending on how deep we want to get into a particular topic. And we had one discussion about time. Do you all remember? I think some of you may remember. And we'll continue a little bit deeper as to this principle of time. When we discuss time, we generally discuss time that is in our lives that has a past, that has a present, and that has a future. We have, our language is made into past tense, present tense, and I think a future tense. So this is done in this format because in the material world, our accessibility is currently in terms of material time. Because as we know, time is eternal. So something that is eternal is not material. Like we, the beautiful loving souls, are eternal souls. We are eternal. And we are not subjected to time. But because we have a material body, that means a body made of matter. Can you mute? Is there any problem? So we can let them sing, Nita. We do not want to interrupt their meditation. Very important. So, being spirit souls, we are eternal just as time is eternal. So if time is eternal and we are eternal, then why is it that we are feeling the pressure of time with us? Does anyone here feel the pressure of time? Right? You feel the time is gone or time has not come yet for you, and you would like to expedite something and slow down other things. When you're having a good time, you forget that time is moving at its pace and you don't really have much control over this time. And it just passes by too fast. And then when you're working too hard and time seems to stand still. What is this phenomenon? And so we're going to understand a little bit deeper today. So time is eternal and matter is temporary. So this is what we're having. We're having an issue of a conflict, an internal conflict, because our nature is permanent, but this body is impermanent. So time is eternal and we want to live forever, but somehow there are some constraints that does not allow us to live forever. And this is why the philosophy of Vedanta and Bhakti, we have to combine the two so it becomes Bhakti Vedanta to understand this full concept and make it more congruent for us to understand and fathom. So this spiritual time is when someone tells us that be here now. Because in spiritual time, there is only now. And that is, being here now is considered to be in the mode of goodness. There is 3 modes of material nature. This material world has 3 modes of operation. One is the mode of goodness, and then there is the mode of passion, and then there is the mode of darkness or ignorance. Goodness, passion, and ignorance. So goodness means being in the present moment, in the present time. And mode of passion means in the future. And mode of ignorance means living in the past. And we will notice in our own lives, when we live in the past, what I could have, would have, should have done, then we spiral down into a dark place. I should have done this. I could have done this. I could have married that rich man. I could have married that beautiful woman. I could have had all this money. I could have had this house. I could have been this. I could have been that. This is all emotions that are continuously being churned in the mode of ignorance. And the more we think and remain in the state of being in the past, then what we're doing is we're continuously digging a deeper and deeper dungeon into this realm of ignorance. Because what has been gone is past, it's gone forever. That is not coming back to you to return, because time has gone. One great saint has explained in Sanskrit that it's very beautiful, you know. I don't like to quote Sanskrit very much because it's complex, but very simple, right? He says, Aisha Ishana Ekopi Nalabhya Sharana Kotibhihi. This is just one Sanskrit verse I wanted to give you an experience of what Sanskrit sounds like. What he's saying is that a moment that has passed cannot be bought with 1,000,000 gold coins. Sharan means gold. Kotipi means millions. So he says a moment that has passed cannot be bought with 1,000,000 gold coins. And that is why he was saying that please understand, my dear brothers and sisters, the value of time. It is priceless. Why is it priceless? Because that time is transcendental, it is eternal, it is spiritual. And so therefore, in this material world, we have an opportunity to access something that is spiritual. And what is that? That is this time. And once this time is gone, we cannot get it back. And so this sage is explaining the importance of understanding time in the past tense. So therefore, my dear friends, let us not dwell on what has already come by and moved on. So this is understanding time in the mode of ignorance. And this is what keeps us in this material world and causes tremendous amount of mental health crisis. Mental health crisis is caused by being in the mode of ignorance primarily, and anxiety is caused by being in the mode of passion. Mode of passion means, what am I going to do tomorrow? Where am I going to be? Where is my life going? And I should be there, and I should be there. I should do this, I should do that. And all these plans of the future. And this continuous plans of the future without proper anchor of knowing one's spiritual purpose, then one lives life without truly living a life. Because living life means living in the present. Living life means living in the mode of goodness. This is what living life means. Most people say, you know, I'm living a great life. And we have to understand, what does that even mean? Great life means living life in the moment, in your spiritual essence. And that spiritual essence is understanding that you are eternal, and this time that you're living in is also eternal. How to sync yourself with the spiritual time is called living life. So there's two times One is called the material time. Kala Chakra is the Sanskrit term for material time. Time that is, matter that is subjected to time in the material world is called Kala Chakra. And time in the spiritual world is called Sudarshan Chakra. Once you get the view of spiritual time, so the material energy time vortex and there's the spiritual time vortex. So these are the two times that we are having an internal battle with. Because we're eternal, we want to live forever, and we want to live happily forever. Because that's who we are. But somehow we have this limitation of being covered by this beautiful matter. Matter means the composition of the 5 elements that the body is made of, which is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. These are the Pancha Mahabhuta in Sanskrit, which means the 5 gross elements that makes the covering of this beautiful soul. And this is what holds us back. Because these 5 elements are subjected to time. Time moves matter. If you live a building in the middle of nowhere, you just give it 100 years to 100 years, maybe a little longer, and the buildings will just simply disappear. Because with time, everything just disappears. All matter disappears. Everything. But we are not a thing. We are this beautiful transcendental spiritual spark that is completely in harmony with Sudarshan Chakra, or the spiritual time. So this is just a little overview. I want to focus a little bit more now on this material time. How does it work? How does it affect matter? And what does it do to it? So time, in Sanskrit term, there is a very beautiful text called the Srimad Bhagavatam, or Srimad Bhagavat Puran. So this time is given this name, Chanda Vega. Chanda Vega. I'll use some names. This is very metaphorical and allegorical part of the Puranas that explains the very clear understanding of what is this time and how it impacts us. Are the 3 modes same as, what is the question, Nitai? Connor, would you mind to say it? We'll be happy to answer that question. Nitai, can you read the question? Connor,
yeah, just when you were talking about the 3 modes, it sounded very similar to the 3 gunas. And I just didn't know if you meant them to be exactly the same or just similar.
They're exactly the same. 3 gunas, guna means a wire. 3 gunas means we're wired differently. Everyone in this world is wired differently. Some people are wired, and sometimes we're more wired than other times. When someone is having a great time, what do we say? We say he's very wired, right? Is that the term we say in America? Someone's very wired. So this word guna in Sanskrit means wire. So we are wired differently at different times. And in English, we call it the 3 modes of material nature. So it's the same thing, Connor. Okay.
Thank you.
Please feel free to ask me and stop me anytime to ask any questions so that I do not leave you behind. We all want to go together. So anything that doesn't make sense, please feel free to interrupt me and ask me anytime so we can all grow together. Because when we grow, we glow. That's very important. If we don't grow, it's hard to glow. So this Chanda Vega is this name is given by Narada Muni, this great sage, and he's explaining this time, how it works. And this Chanda Vega, or time, attacks this human body, And we discussed in our previous class, discussing time. We are the king of this great kingdom. We discussed this, how this body is this great kingdom, a city of 9 gates, and has 9 gates and different aspects. We discussed what are the mountains, the rivers, and we discussed everything. Very beautifully described. And so, Chanda Vega, this time, attacks this city that we are living in. We are living in this city, this body, right? And Chanda Vega, time, attacks this body. How does this time work on this body? It comes with 360 unique soldiers. And you'll notice that half of the soldiers are white in complexion and other half are dark in complexion. They're called Gandharvas and Gandharvis. So imagine how many soldiers are coming in with time to attack this body that we have. And within this body that we're living, this body, we are being subjected to we're being protected by this 5-headed serpent. And this 5-headed serpent is called the 5 Pancha Prana, the 5 airs in the body. The 5 airs in the body are Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana, and Udana. These are the 5 airs in the body. And it is in the shape of a snake protecting this body from the onslaught of time, Chanda Vega, and his soldiers. And they're ferociously attacking this body. And this happens all the time, right? This body is constantly being attacked with time and the soldiers of time. And this Chanda Vega has a very beautiful daughter. And her name is Kala Kanya. Time has a daughter. Imagine this. Time has a daughter, and the daughter's name is Kala Kanya, or Jada. Jada means old age. The daughter of time is old age. And so, being a great king, Chanda Vega, time, when it comes to attack, it realizes that his daughter is not married. So this daughter is trying to find a suitable husband. And it approaches this great sage named Narada. And Narada, who wants to get married to old age? Is there anyone here that would like to get married to old age? So when she proposes marriage to sage Narada, Narada is like, no. I don't want to marry you. Is there anyone here who likes to embrace old age? Nobody does. So he didn't want to get married to old age. And she was very upset. She thought that because he's a sage, he doesn't care about his old age, but he also didn't want to get married to her. So she cursed him. He said, I curse you for not marrying me, that you will never be able to remain in one place. And he was happy to take that curse. So this sage, Narada, is known to be a traveling monk. He continuously travels from one planet to another because he was cursed by Kalakanya or Jada. Jada means old age. So he's ever youthful. He's always traveling, not affected by jet lag. So when Jada was looking for a husband, approached everywhere and everybody walked away from her. Then they found this great prince that she wanted to marry. And this prince, name of this prince is called Prajwara. Prajwara means fever. So old age marries fever. Imagine this. When we get old, when this body gets old, immunity slows down. When she embraces you, then you get a fever. That's how you know that she is very close to you and she's embracing you. So, together, imagine Chandavega with 360 powerful soldiers, which is day and night. 360 days and night become the soldiers of time. And accompanied by the daughter, which is old age, and her husband, fever. And they ferociously attack this body. Every single day they're attacking this body. And this body is fighting back. And this is the story from the Srimad Bhagavatam, where this continuous battle for life is going on. And eventually, we living in this body cannot bear the onslaught, the barrage of attacks. Continuously wake up, daytime, nighttime, old age, and disease and fever continuously being attacked. Then eventually, we lose the battle. This body that we are trying to hold on to so dearly, we lose this city. And the city then goes back into earth. And we are then pulled away by time. This great warrior, Chandavega, pulls us out of this body and puts us in a different kingdom. So this is what happens with material time. This metaphor is given in the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, how time comes with all the soldiers and with the whole family. And this time also has 1,100 sons and 110 daughters. And those are all the material desires that are continuously draining us from our very sustenance, from our very substance. Material desires are dragging us away from being our true essential spiritual selves. So these are our sons and daughters. And this is what is happening, what is the impact of time into our lives. And the sages are therefore explaining that as long as we have a material body, we will be continuously remaining in a state of fear. When you don't have something, you will want to go get something. When you have that something, you'll be afraid to lose it. So we have this material body. Now we are so afraid to lose this material body. Chandavega is coming in the form with all the soldiers of 360 days and nights, attacking this body with its full might, and we are not ready to let go, and we are extremely fearful. So this is the functional level of the first baseline functional level of consciousness that is explained by the sages. There's 4 functional levels of consciousness. The first one is fear. And the second one is reward. All our actions in this life is simply there because we want something in return. And eventually, when our consciousness goes up, then we start doing things out of duty. And then eventually we do something. We do our actions, and our decisions and choices are made out of love. And eventually, there is this transcendental spiritual love, where everything we do in this world is out of love for the divine, for the supreme. So this 5 functional levels of consciousness is very, very clearly defined by the sages. And time is what causes us to be in constant fear of losing what we have, what we think we have. And when we realize, the sages are saying, when we realize that this body does not belong to us, it is a temporary loan that is given to us. We are a temporary resident of this city, of this castle. And when the time is up, we will be given, some are given notifications, some are evicted without any notifications. Some people have cancer and they say you'll live 2 months or 3 months. And some are not given any notifications. You just have a little heart attack and you're gone. So time, Chandavega, comes in and instills fear in our hearts. But that fear is only there because of our attachment to something that is impermanent. Anytime we are attached to anything that is impermanent, we will have fear. You only become fearless when you become detached from the impermanent and become attached to the permanent. Only when you become attached to your true essential spiritual self and the relationship with the divine, then we can experience eternality. Then we can experience what spiritual energy vortex is. Then we can experience what is transcendental beauty. Then we can experience eternal life. So therefore, my dear friends, the sages are saying, please let us understand how time, Bhagavad Gita very beautifully explains. These 2 friends, Arjuna and Krishna, are having a dialogue. And Krishna explains, time I am, destroyer of all things. And Arjuna was, as a friend, was very afraid of time. And only when he got a very clear understanding of how this material time works, then he says, Krishna, I get it. Now I understand how I need to utilize this human form of life that I have properly in pursuit of uplifting this material consciousness and bringing it up to spiritual consciousness. And spiritual consciousness means that all actions are connected to the divine. What is our unique purpose in this world? How do I engage what I have with this body, mind, and my resources in the service of cultivating this deep spiritual inner consciousness? And that inner spiritual consciousness is what we call bhakti. So this is our discussion about time. There's a lot more. I think next week we can have a little bit more detailed discussion on time. Any questions or comments? We have 10 minutes. Or anybody who would like to share anything about any doubts, any suspicions, any objections?
I would like to share something, please.
Please. Yeah, please share.
Yes, first I want to say thank you so much for your energy. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us all. It's my first time here, invited by my friend Val. So I want to tell you thank you, and thank you all on this call. Thank you so much. I've had my battles with time, feeling like there's not enough, feeling that the time is not right. And listening to what you're sharing today has helped to confirm some of my inklings about time as us being eternal beings, and how we look at time as, you know, we have this lifetime, but whatever we don't do in this lifetime, perhaps we can come back and do it again. So in being in my moment, it's helped me to find greater joy, greater peace, greater fortitude. So much so, I actually stopped celebrating my birthday, because when I think of another year and another year, it puts in my mind, this is just my personal practice of time and getting quote unquote older and looking at time and all the stuff we associate with getting so-called aging. So my process of reprogramming and how I see time is just each day is a day. It's another opportunity. It's another rebirth, you know. I know we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have months of the year. We count the days. And sometimes in my mind, that kind of puts a clock like, oh, okay, another year older, another month has gone by, and it puts me on this timer on the inside, on a subconscious level. But listening to your explanation of time and life and energy and how we all go through this process is quite comforting to know that we are eternal. I believe we'll come back. Whatever we don't do this time, we can come back and do it again. But being present in the moment, I know you talked about the 3 phases, but being present in the moment is truly the gift. Present, like a gift, present, is truly the gift. And I'm so grateful to hear the reaffirmation of this teaching from your perspective, which I just love and appreciate. So I just wanted to thank you. Thank everybody who's listening, and thank you for the opportunity to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Yaya. Any other questions or yes, Kushita. Her name is Kushi. Kushi is her spiritual name means joyfulness. So thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to be here. It's always, and reminding me of my name. I just absolutely love it. Thank you for that moment that I lived with you and many of our fellow tribe over in Atlanta. I thank you so much for this topic. I know for Yaya and I, we've been talking about this particular topic. In fact, we just had breakfast yesterday, and we're like, you know, sometimes it feels like we're dreaming, but are we really hustling? Because like, oh, you know, it's, yeah, last year I'm 50 and this whole thing of time, right? And taking advantage that you're here and bring it as a aha moment for me and anyone who wants to vibrate in this. It's interesting how you say that you didn't want to celebrate like your birthday. It was kind of like more just seeing life as it is every day. And then I posted something yesterday that you brought me in the aha moment of celebrating the birthday, right? And we were just in the now. We were in the mode of good. We were in the mode of good, celebrating and being present. And being present is how got me to meet her in an orange juice stand in a little downtown Merida in the middle of nowhere. And we were present enough to acknowledge, and that has brought us the most beautiful friendship and sisterhood. And so this is so spot on what you're saying. And the reflection that she gave me yesterday, it is about celebrating every day, but it deconstructed all the limited beliefs that I had also around time and birthday. Birthday to me, I wrote about it, was so much pain. And Veda, I think I've spoken to you sometime about it, was I was born when my parents were getting a divorce. So I always felt in the back of my mind, you know, you're not wanted. You came to mess things up in life, because I put myself in my mother's place. Imagine you're getting divorced and then here's Val, like as cute as I could have been, you know, I've really felt a burden. And then, please, people, don't ever do that. Don't get married on your birthday. I got married on my birthday and my marriage ended on my birthday. And so I had all these limited beliefs of birthday and life and aging. And last year that I turned 50, I'm like, oh my God, that's it. I'm at the last phase instead of the beginning phase, right? The more knowledgeable. So it is just beautiful how you presented. Always your stories are so mesmerizing, and you take us in this journey, like living what you're saying. And I just wanted to say thank you, because this topic is a before and after, and it is one of the factors to allow us to enjoy life as it is. And what you mentioned is so true. We're going after something and then we have it and then we don't enjoy it because we think it's going to be gone. That for me was like, oh, like just an aha moment, you know, and how much lighter we live of just being truly detached from it all. So anyway, there's therapy for me. Thank you all for listening. Namaste, everyone. Thank you, Veda.
It is explained that enjoyment is only in the present. So if you want to enjoy, then you have to be in the present. Because present means mode of goodness. And there's no enjoyment in the mode of passion and ignorance because they are very painful. Okay, we have Sean, he wants to question, comments, please.
Yes. If fear can be described as an emotion, you know, emotions and becoming aware of emotions, how do you kind of avail for the purpose, you know, if perhaps, and this is obviously, let's say fear is because you said it's impermanent, you know, and so some people may fear death, because we're in this material body, and that's part of the human condition. So how do we avail the emotions, though? It's, you know, for many of us that's a natural emotion, you know. So I guess that's how can you, you know, I guess transcend that, you know, to you know, wanting to live a purposeful life, and then also the process of being able to open up to exploring death, if that's even a thing, you know?
Yes, death is a real thing and it happens at every moment. When we inhale, we're taking in life, and every time we exhale, we're losing life. So life and death is happening, birth and death is happening with every breath. So we are experiencing birth and death, but yet we choose not to contemplate deeply enough on it. In the Vedanta philosophy, we understand Shravana means to hear, Manana means to contemplate, and Nididhyasana means to apply. So how much of our knowledge that we listen to do we contemplate on? And how much of it do we actually apply? So these three stages, the whole philosophy is based on understanding what it means to hear, what it means to contemplate on and reflect on it. Because that is where real transformation is taking place. Contemplation means to meditate. All the information that we are sharing, everything I'm sharing is simply things that I have learned from my teachers, and nothing that I have shared is mine. I have only shared my realization of it, but the information is given to me by my teachers. I'm simply repeating the teachings of my teachers. For the last 41 years of my life that I have spent studying this deep philosophical perspectives on life and on the world, on this cosmic creation. I simply share that. But what happens is when we take this information and we meditate on it, and we let it sit in our mind, and we contemplate means to meditate, and then how to apply this. And that is when our transformation happens. That's why we have the Sangha, the heart space, called once a week, simply to get information. We started this a few months ago, so that we can give you the knowledge that has been shared with us. And then you think about this knowledge, and you see how it is applicable in your lives. So, death is happening all the time, and we need to reflect on it. And the more we embrace death, you're embracing life, because life and death is the two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
So there is nothing to fear. And this is the amazing part that Bhagavad Gita explains. Some look at this journey as amazing, some describe it as amazing, some hear of it as amazing, while others, even after hearing about it, cannot understand it at all. Because it requires your deep meditation and contemplation on life. And taking tangible steps to experience life. And the real experience of life happens in the spiritual realm, with spiritual consciousness. The material consciousness only gives us limited experience, and the spiritual consciousness gives us unlimited experience. So thank you, Sean. Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else would like to add anything or subtract anything? We have one of our great teachers from Netherlands, my dear friend Francis. And he always brings a lot of joy to me, because when I went to visit his beautiful community there, I saw how he has carefully nurtured the hearts and the minds of all the beautiful souls in Netherlands. It was a full house retreat, and amazing arrangements, and amazing cultivation of the consciousness. So thank you, Francis. Would you like to share anything with us?
So I can share only the things I experienced myself, because maybe that's the most important thing that we have to learn, experience life. And then all this knowledge, what we get from our teachers, then we understand it. Because for me, sometimes I experience life, and then after that, then comes something that is what my teacher has said to me, or I was just meditating on it, and then it came to me. And then I actually knew what it was, what we were talking about. I knew what was life was about. And that makes then, maybe that's for me is the most important thing, the first step,
Yes.
to experience life and get the knowledge from our teachers, but doing things. We can think and read and talk about it, but at the end we have to do something. And that's, for me, that's important, what I experience in my path and what I share with my students. So this, I will share this also with you.
Beautiful. Yes, we have discussed that in our class one time. There's book knowledge or theoretical knowledge. And then when you practice that book knowledge, as Francis is saying, it becomes realized knowledge. And when you become realized knowledge, when you become realized, then you get revealed knowledge, knowledge that is revealed to you even more. So theoretical knowledge, realized knowledge, and revealed knowledge. So it's very beautiful, Francis. Thank you for bringing that up. So I'm grateful to each and every one of you for joining us and partaking in this heart sharing, in this heart space. Oh, Nitai, do you have any announcements?
Yeah, few quick announcements. We have Alabama retreat coming up in September, Labor Day weekend. We'll be doing a lot of the theme is Purpose Unleashed, so we'll go deeper into realizing our spiritual purpose. And it'll have a lot of bonfire, sonic bliss meditation, vegan food, camping, and yoga. We have a nice glamping tent rented out. And then Veda will be, I'll put the details in the chat. Veda will be doing a lot of retreats in Connecticut and Bulgaria as well in September 22nd, and in Belgium, Radhadesh on 29th.
And also, Belgium, something is happening.
And the Bulgaria one is next to the Black Sea, like a beautiful setting. And other retreats will be announced soon in Eindhoven, Netherlands, and Sofia, Bulgaria. So yeah, there's a lot of details for that. And the India retreat in October as well. All the details are in the chat if you want to click on any link and check that out. And yeah, there's also the social media page, Veda the Monk at Instagram, and YouTube, Vedaji. If you follow, it will help reach more people, bring more loving hearts to the community. So yeah, thanks.
Nita is a very shy student. I found him at Georgia Tech. He just finished his master's in industrial design. And I found him there. And he got so connected to the practice of bhakti through seva. Now he's a full-time, because he's expert in all the social media. So he is the one that keeps me informed about everything that's happening, because I don't know what my Instagram is or Facebook is. I had stayed away from it for 40 plus years. And I think it's only 4 years ago. So 41 years, I was able to stay away from any kind of social media or online presence. And now, courtesy to Nitai, he's put us out there, and I could not defeat him in an argument, logical debate as to whether or not I should be on social media. And the conclusion was, I'll let you do whatever you want as long as I don't know anything about it. And so therefore, I'm very grateful to Nitai. Let us support him with his efforts to bring more and more hearts together and and build communities around the world like we have, in Connecticut, in Belgium, and being connected to Francis's community in Eindhoven. And then we have communities in Bulgaria. So it's happening. And this is all due to the tenacious consistency of Nitai. So let us support him. I don't know what's going on, but whatever he's doing, somehow the communities are coming. People are getting in touch with their hearts. So thank you very much. Namaste, everyone. Please have a wonderful weekend.